So thanks for joining me. And this afternoon, I'm going to do a lot of focusing in on our hips. So I'm going to break the session again into halves, so like 30 minutes, 30 minutes. The first half is just going to be warming up into the hips. We'll do a few little rounds of sun salutations. You can take a little drink in between, and then the second half is going to be getting a little bit deeper into the hips using a nice flow sequence. Okay. So one of the muscles that we're going to focus on a lot today is our psoas muscle. So our psoas muscle is this lovely deep hip flexor that has a kind of a unique job in the body. So it's one of the very few, if only, muscles that crosses over the hip. So it links kind of the top of the body and the bottom of the body, and it also links the back of the body to the front of the body. Okay, so it starts, kind of wraps itself around the lower back, around the thoracic spine, sometimes even down as far as the sacrum, so that little bone there, so it attaches in there, then it kind of wraps its way around, and then it inserts in here into what's called our lesser trochanter at the top of the femur. Okay, so that's that big bone coming up the thigh. Okay. So it's got a lot of stuff going on here. It's quite deep, so it's quite hard to actually find it, to palpate it. Often if you go for a deep tissue massage, your massage therapist might just about touch into it, but after a lot of work, and particularly if you do a lot of sitting, cycling, anything really where we're flexing the body, which is a lot of the sports that we do as athletes. You're tightening into that area, so then it's getting a little bit tighter, and it's even harder to get at. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today, we're not just looking at loosening up into that muscle, we also want to help stabilize it. Okay, so it is good to have a little bit of contraction, obviously, in the hips. So when you think this muscle, you want to contract, you want to lift that leg, so you're going to have to contract that muscle. So that's good, we want to be able to do that, otherwise we're going to be walking around like this. Okay, so that's good, we want a certain degree of that. But what we don't want is when we don't want to lift our leg and we're kind of in this forward flexion and we have this kind of little tilt, anterior tilt to the pelvis. We have this little lordosis in the lower back. So that's pulling on our lower back, it's hiking up the glutes. So even though our glutes are stretching, they're weakening. Okay, so then when we want to actually activate them, it's very hard when they've always been weakened. Okay, so we've got that little thing happening. So we've got tightness into our hips, we've got that weakness in the lower back. Then we're trying to compensate with the middle back and upper back, so we're even exaggerating that curve. So again, the psoas does help us maintain a little bit of curvature in the lower back, which again we need, because if we were just like stiff like this, again, if we're knocked over, we don't have that ability to sway. So as a dual purpose, so we do want it to remain a little bit contract, but while it's contracted, what we want to focus on is engaging our core. So it's not just contracting, sticking our bum out and weakening that lower back. When you think about that, if my bum's sticking out, my lower back's weakened, the front of my body, my abdominals here, yes, they're lovely and lengthened, but they're not really doing much, okay? So they're quite weak. So what we want to do is reverse that. We want to contract, tilt the pelvis forward, release that lower back. You can feel that automatically when you engage the core. So as well as working into the hips, into that psoas muscle, we're going to be focusing on our core. Okay, so when people say core work in yoga, I like to think of it as trunk work. Okay, so your whole hip complex and your core and your lower back and all those muscles in between. Okay, so we don't just alienate one muscle or even one muscle group, because they're all kind of interconnected. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking now. So we're going to start our practice. And again, I want you to think about core engagement all the way through. So just a nice, easy, cross-legged at the front of the mat. We'll open our palms, we'll roll our shoulder blades back, really drawing the shoulder blades down the spine. Again, nice, strong core. Maybe tucking the chin a little bit to feel that lovely release in the lower back. And we'll take 3 opening active breaths. We're going to inhale, arms out, reaching up, interlocking fingers. Exhale, pressing it forward. 2 more. The last one. This time we're going to inhale, arms up. And as we exhale, reaching the left arm forward, right arm behind, we're going to rest that left hand just above the knee. Pressing the heel of that right hand nice and close to the lower back. And as we inhale, we're going to lengthen, pressing upward through the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to look back over that right shoulder. We're going to press that left hand into the leg and trying to draw the front of the body almost parallel to the side of the room. Feeling that lovely stretch along the left hand side of the neck. Again, every inhale, we're thinking about lengthening. Every exhale, a little bit deeper into that twist. And focus here on a lovely belly breath. We're going to inhale back to centre, bringing both hands over to the left. Small little micro bend to the left, just to release that twist. And then we'll draw it back up to centre. Palms open to the ceiling. Inhale, rise. And as we exhale, right arm comes forward, left hand behind, right hand just above the left knee. Left heel of the hand nice and close to the spine, so we're not falling back into that arm. We're inhaling, lengthening, and as we exhale, looking back over that left shoulder, opening the heart, really rotating that left shoulder back, maybe even walking that left hand around the body, seeing if we can create a little bit more space into the front of the body here. So again, we're just warming up into the spine, into the core, into that trunk. Little hip opener here, but not too much. And then slowly inhale back to centre. Hands to the right, small little micro bend, releasing it out. And then coming back to centre. From here, we're going to come right into our tabletop, and then we're going to go for a few little rounds of cat-cow curls, just again to get a little bit mobility into that spine. So we've done these before in previous classes, so just retouching. Again, you can tuck the toes if your knees feel a little bit cranky, otherwise placing the feet flat into the mat, knees about hip width distance apart. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward, gaze up toward the ceiling, arching the spine. Exhale, pressing into the mat, curling through the spine, gaze back to the belly. Inhale, gaze goes forward and up. Exhale, curling through, release. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, curling through. 3 more. Again, you can do this with your eyes closed down, just focusing on that lovely space throughout the spine, taking an extra breath or two into anywhere that feels particularly tight or tender. Last one. Coming back to our tabletop here. From here, we're going to do a little bit of activation of the core and the glutes. So again, just checking in, those shoulders are level with the wrists, the elbow creases are facing slightly forward, and any of the pressure is just in our finger pads and knuckles, so nice and light into the wrists. If you do find the wrists get a little bit cranky here, you can always get a towel, place it underneath the ball of the hands so you can really throw that weight into the front of the hand. Okay, so some people find this a little bit stressful in the wrist, so it shouldn't be. So again, listen to your body. We're going to inhale, right arm out, left foot back, we're pressing back through that left heel. And from here, we automatically seem to go into a little arch here. So this is not a back bend. I want you to engage your core. Keep that core nice and strong. We're going to hold it here. Again, if you need to adjust that left arm. Gaze is slightly forward of the mat, so just think of the neck as an extension of the spine. We're not looking forward and stressing out the neck, but we're not looking back toward the belly. So just nice and relaxed. For 3, for 2, and 1. We're going to inhale, draw the right elbow into left knee. Exhale, extend it out, bending that left knee and lift. Inhale, drawing it in, using the core. Exhale, extend it out, lift, using that left glute. Inhale it in. Exhale it out. 3 more. Last 2. Last one. And hold it out here in extension. Again, if you need to adjust that shoulder, if you have a tendency to dump back into that hand like I seem to have. Again, for this, we're going to do a little bit of extra glute activation. So we're going to inhale center, but as we exhale, we're going to draw that left leg out and that right arm out to the side. I'm a little bit close to the wall here for this one. Inhale back to center, exhale it out. Inhale back to center, try to keep the foot high if you can, exhale it out. Ooh, inhale back to center, exhale it out. Last one, my glute is crying. And then gently back to center. We're just going to sit back into a nice traditional child's pose, just to give that left arm a little rest and just to maybe massage that left glute out. So again, give yourself a little bit more space around your mat. Don't be like Laura. Again, just feeling, you want to feel those glute muscles activate in this. So we're looking at a bit of stability into the hips. And then as we go down through the class, we're going to work into a little bit of mobility and freedom within the hips. Bringing the arms back out in front, back into our tabletop. Again, getting our alignments right to start with. And we're going to inhale, left arm out, right foot back, pressing back through that right heel. So even here, by pressing back through that right heel, you should actually feel a little stretch into the front of the right pelvis. Again, engage the core and feel that core and that glute activate. Holding it out here for 3. For 2, really pressing away through those fingers. And 1, inhale, left knee in, or right knee, left elbow, exhale it out. Inhale, left elbow, right knee. Exhale it out. Inhale it in. Exhale it out, bending that right knee and lift. Inhale, drawing it in. Exhale, extend it out. Inhale it in, keep the core active. The slower this movement, the more challenging it is for the body. So it's quite easy just to pendulum the body through the movement without even really activating those muscles. Last 2. Last 1. And then hold it out here in extension. Again, check in your alignments, everything's still in line. We're going to inhale center, and as we exhale, drawing that right foot out, left arm out. Inhale back to center. Exhale it out. Keep the core engaged. Inhale at center. Exhale it back. Inhale at center. Exhale it out. 2 more, center. And again, you can do these for a lot longer than what I'm doing here when you're doing your own practice. Ooh, and slowly back to center, release left hand down, coming back onto the knees, sitting back onto the heels, hands back by the feet, and a nice little relaxed child's pose. So again, just allow the shoulders rest the way down toward the mat, feeling that release between the shoulder blades, right into the shoulder joints. We're still really sitting those sit bones back onto the heels, so we're creating a little bit of space in that lower back. And again, if you need to massage that right glute out, just palpating it there with your own hand, feeling that muscle. And then slowly bring the hands back out in front. We're going to come back into our tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck our toes under and we're going to press it back into our first downward dog. We need to just gently walk out the heels. So again, keep the hips nice and high. Actually, we bring the feet a little bit wider, so nice wide-legged downward dog. Working a little bit into the hips here. Pressing the ground away, trying to creep as much length into the spine, as much height into the hips. Getting as much extension in behind the legs, but not getting caught up if the heels don't touch the ground. Once you're feeling that stretch, that's what you want. Coming back to stillness here in our downward dog, we're going to get our left hand and we're going to reach for our right thigh and we're going to look up underneath our right armpit. So again, just a little twist here, still drawing those heels down toward the ground. For 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand comes back to the mat. We're going to reach that right arm through, holding on to the right calf. Again, right leg if it doesn't quite get to the calf. And then looking out underneath that left armpit. For 3, for 2, and 1. Draw that right hand back to meet the left. I'm going to gently walk to the front of the mat. And I'm going to come into a nice forward fold here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my block. Again, if you don't have a block, we need a block and a strap for this class. Should have said that at the start. If you don't have a block, a good big fat book will do the job. If you don't have a strap, a towel, sometimes I actually prefer the towel. Okay, so I'm going to show you this facing you, but you're going to be facing along the mat. We're going to get our block and we're placing it to its second level wide. We're going to hug it in between the shins. And we're trying to really press the calves into that block until we feel those little adductor muscles. So those muscles within the hips that draw the legs inward, till we feel them activating. Okay, feel good? And then from here, we're going to sit back into a chair. Okay, in a chair, I want you to really ground all corners of your feet into the mat. So there is a little bit of shaking going on here. I'm really contracting those inner thighs here. So this isn't a stretch in the inner thighs. I should have space in the lower back. Okay, so I should have length in the lower back. I'm sticking my bum down toward the ground, but I'm trying to avoid that curve in the lower back by keeping the core engaged. Okay. From here, we're going to crisscross at the ankles, or sorry, at the wrists even, and we're going to hook our hands so that they're touching the inner thighs, upper inner thighs. We're going to rest our belly on our thighs and we're going to press the legs apart. So with the hands, we're pressing the legs apart, but we're still drawing the legs together. Okay, so this is really activating those inner thighs. So tight doesn't mean strong. If we've tight hips, it does not mean they're strong. So we're trying to activate those muscles to make them strong. Ooh, and then we're going to release, hands out, block out. Just allowing the head and neck gently relax toward the ground, arms released and just sway side to side. We're going to do that again. So you should actually feel a little bit of a burn on the inner thighs here, if that's working. So again, reaching for our block. Feet about hip width distance apart. So always, particularly for athletes, always recommend you stacking the joints. So kind of traditionally in yoga, they'll always talk about bringing the toes together, knees together. But when you think about that, if you even look at your legs alignment, it's going slightly off. So we want to stack our joints so that all the energy is transferring directly out through the legs and into the earth, okay? That we're not getting any lateral pressure, particularly on the knee joints and also on the ankle joints, okay? So, and it's actually a lot more comfortable as well. So, loads of reasons for it. We're going to bring that block, again, second width apart, placing it between the shins, grounding all corners of the feet into the mat. Actually, just try pressing your big toe into the mat and lifting the little toe, the two outer toes off the mat, and you should feel these perineals, so these outer calf muscles. You're going to feel, or just outside the calf muscles, then engage and start to feel like they're really working too. So that's a good sign. Again, we're just going to draw it into our chair pose to start with. Really pressing back into those sit bones, really keeping the spine long, keeping the chest open here too. We're not folding yet. And then we're just going to crisscross our hands the opposite way. Again, we're going to hold on to those upper inner thighs, and we're going to allow the belly melt down onto the legs. So we're still pressing the legs together, and now we're pressing the upper inner thighs apart with the hands. So loads of little muscle activation here. Don't forget to breathe. You can relax the head, it's not really doing much in this one. Keep the spine as long as you can. Keep the chest open. A few more breaths here. So the nice thing in yoga is you don't actually have to move that much to activate the muscles. Okay, so you're actually doing a lot of work here and you're not even moving. Ooh, you can really see that shaking my knees now. Shaking Stevens, and slowly release. Release the block. And then just gently release the neck, release the head, maybe sway a little bit side to side, just release it all out. Ooh. Lovely. So from here, we're going to go into a few little rounds of sun salutations. We'll take a break, or the video will take a break, and then we'll get set up for the second half of the class. Okay, so focus, core and hips. Starting at the front of the mat, again stacking the hips over the feet. I want you to ground all corners of the feet into the mat. So I want you to really be conscious of feeling the ground underneath every single last part of your feet here. Maybe scrunching the toes and release, just see how that feels. And even rocking from the outer blades to the inner blades. And again, even seeing how that feels in the lower leg. So a lot of yoga, particularly for athletes, it's body awareness, noticing the little imbalances, noticing the weaknesses, noticing the strengths, seeing what you need to work on. Lovely. And then just come into center. We're going to place the hands to heart center, rolling the shoulders back, engage the core. So we're trying to get rid of that sticky bum out. Tuck the hips forward, engage that core, and feel that strength in the lower back as opposed to that crunchiness. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, nice flat back here. Exhale, fold. And stepping right foot back to lunge, left foot to meet it. Inhale and plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat, rolling forward, untucking the toes, pressing the heart open, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. Again, we're going to do all our downward dogs nice and wide feet, about the width of the mat apart. Maybe even splaying the feet out a little bit. Doing a little bit of a Charlie Chaplin walk here. So we're just trying to access those inner hips here. Still pressing the ground away, still trying to keep the spine nice and long. We're going to inhale, look forward, stepping right foot up and forward into lunge. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge. Right foot to meet it, inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat, core strong, rolling forward, untucking the toes, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog, walking it out, wide hips. And even rocking the hips side to side. So we're trying to get as much warmth into those hips as we can so we can get a little bit deeper as we go on. Coming to stillness here. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Second round, when you're ready. Just really grounding yourself into that standing pose, reconnecting with your breath, activating that core, drawing the shoulders down the back, away from the ears. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. And stepping right foot back to lunge. We're going to inhale that left arm up, holding it here, pressing back through that right heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand back to the mat, stepping left foot back to meet right. Inhale and plank. Nice strong plank for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat, rolling forward, untucking the toes, pressing the heart open. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. Again, your choice with the legs here. You can keep it wide, or you can bring them a little bit toward, hip width apart, whatever feels good. Inhale, right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge, left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, keeping left hand down. Inhale, that right arm up, pressing back through that left heel. For 3, extending that arm up. For 2, and 1. Right hand comes back to the mat. Right foot comes back to meet left. Inhale and plank. Again, nice strong plank here. Just checking in that shoulder is in line with the wrist. For 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest into the mat, rolling forward, untucking the toes, pressing the heart open, drawing those shoulders back. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. I love walking it out in the downward dog. Just really opens up the backs of the legs, particularly if you are quite active. You're always contracting into those muscles when you think every time you lift that leg forward, extend that foot out. So just giving it a little break whenever we can. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. Third and final round of our sun salute. What a little variation. Reconnecting with that breath. Noticing where the heart's at, noticing where the breath's at. Noticing where that tummy's at. Is it just hanging out to re-engage in that core? Inhale, rise up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, right hand stays grounded. Inhale, that left arm up. Pressing those fingertips up toward the ceiling, pressing back through that right heel for 3, for 2, and 1. From here, we're going to bring that left arm behind the back, pressing the back of the hand into the lower back and really working into a lovely twist here. So that left shoulder is drawn back. My gaze is up toward the ceiling for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand comes to meet right, stepping that left foot back into plank, holding it here for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or lowering chaturanga to the mat, keeping those elbows in, rolling forward, baby cobra, or upward dog. If we're in upward dog, it's only the feet and hands that are connected to the mat, and we're keeping that core engaged. Exhale, downward dog. Nearly there. Inhale, right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge, left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, keep the left hand down, inhale that right arm up. Really pressing toward the ceiling with those right fingertips. Opening the heart, opening that right shoulder back, pressing back through that left heel for 2, and 1. We're going to bend that right arm, placing the back of the hand to the lower back, and just rotating that right shoulder back a little bit more, getting a little bit more twist into the body for 3, for 2, And 1. Releasing right hand back to meet left. Stepping right foot back to left, holding it here in plank. For 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, arms to the ground, baby cobra, or upward dog, opening the heart. Exhale, downward dog, walking it out. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge, right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart, closing down the eyes. Noticing where the breath's at, noticing where the heart's at. Rolling those shoulders back, so creating that space into the front of the body. Keeping the core engaged, noticing where those feet are at. And then gently opening the eyes, release the hands. And we're going to go into the second part of our fast. So if you want to grab a drink, make sure you have your props close at hand. And I'll join you in a couple of minutes.